Tyler Glasnow coming through with a 1.69 ERA this postseason. Tyler, you were dominant against the Phillies. You were great against the Brewers. And then in the World Series, in Game 6, we thought you were going to be the bulk guy or maybe start Game 7. And all of a sudden, you're warming up in the bullpen in Game 6. Your first ever save was in Game 6 of the World Series. What was that moment like when you first got the call that, hey, you need to get up and start warming up and you might be coming into this game?
Yeah, I think during that game, I was sitting down in the bullpen. I assumed it would be like an emergency situation, and I was kind of just lounging, watching the game, having a good time. And then as the game got going, it was the 8th inning. Bardo kind of told me, like, maybe start moving around a little bit. It started to become more real. And I got up, warmed up a little bit, threw a few warm-up pitches. The inning got a little squirrely. I got to go in, and I was happy I got to execute early. It's an early swinging team, trying to go up and in with a two-seam. It worked out. 3 pitches, I'm just so happy it worked out. And now we're here doing this interview with the parade. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, a couple questions. One is the adrenaline. What was the adrenaline like, you coming in that compared to when you start? And then 2, how satisfying is this after, you celebrated last year, but you being participating this year throughout this entire postseason?
Yeah, last year I think was its own emotional roller coaster, just being like you sign with the team. I guess for me, I signed with the team just to participate in the postseason. That's what the Dodgers are about. I think going into it and not participating, but winning the World Series was a relief in itself, knowing that, like, at least we won, one of those things. Right. And I think going into this year, being able to participate, having a place, it means everything to me. And I think just to go back to back and just to be a part of this team, it's absolutely incredible.
Glass, you talk about being a part of this team. There are so many superstars, stars on this team, but you epitomize being a star yourself, but doing whatever it takes to win. You're a starter, a dominant starter. You absolutely dealt against the Phillies, the Brewers, and even against the Blue Jays, and you say, you know what, even as a starter, I don't have to be a starter. I can come out and help my team Game 6 and 7. What was that run for you like personally? Because you are that star player, but whatever the team needs, you were there when called upon.
Yeah, I think just being a starter and doing that whole preparation and then being able to do it again in the postseason and feel what it's like to go into the postseason and win a game, or just to be a part of a game that we won as a starter, was incredible. And then just whatever they need kind of aspect. I guess you go into the game, I'll do anything they want. I think just to be a part of the team, I'll do anything. I'll serve water. I'll do what you need to do. We just have to win, and I'm just glad I got to be a part of it.
Serving water is a little below your pay grade, okay? I just want to let you know. Blake Snell talks about all the time after an outing, I need to get better, I need to learn, I need to then take this into my next game. You guys have a fraternity as the starters. What have you learned from those guys, and what do you continue to grow in?
Yeah, I think that's like a big starting pitcher routine type of thing. I think there's always that little bit of, it's either a good thing or a mental sickness of being like, I need to get better at all times. And I think it's a perfectionist attitude, and I think it works in some ways and it doesn't in others. But I think in baseball, all of us are very similar in the fact that, like, I think all of us after a start, there's always more, there's always something to learn, there's always something you get better at. And I'm just fortunate to be a part of this group of guys, just such an insane assembly of starting pitchers, to where, like, it's just a council of knowledge of starting pitching with Clayton and everyone. It's amazing.
You have a ball in your hand for about 20-25 minutes before a start, and in the bullpen, Bardsy's telling you to, hey, start moving around, and now you're telling us about your first couple of warm-up pitches. How did you change from 25 minutes with a ball in my hand to, oh, I have like 10 pitches, 12 pitches?
I think the adrenaline of the phone call is always pretty insane. I think a lot of it too, though, like, I guess if you strip it down, if you were to eliminate all the emotional or things you can't control, like, pitching is pitching. I think you understand, like, you get on the mound, you've done it so many times that there's really no, like, excuse or feeling to not feel good. Once you hit the mound, you know what you're supposed to do. And I think what I learned about the bullpen this year is just that extra adrenaline of, like, you don't need to get as ready as you would as a starter. So, like, it goes so quick.
I got a quick question here. What was the one thing I missed being in the dugout, the intensity of the postseason? When you're in that dugout, when Miggy Rowe hit that game-tying home run, the feeling in that dugout, what was it like?
I mean, especially for me, the game was, I gave up a run, and it was 4-3.
I don't remember that. We don't remember that.
I was sitting there going, come on, Miggy. And he hit the homer. And my God, it was straight up euphoria. My brain was just, it was unbelievable, hitting that home run. I think, too, just him specifically, like, he's such a huge part of our clubhouse, and he's such a leader, and he does the mic. He's so many things behind the scenes that Miggy provides for our team that maybe not a lot of people see. So for him to do it, it was such a weird, it's such a storybook moment where you're like, something else is controlling this, because the fact that Miggy came through and did this is like such a weird feeling.
And a storybook moment for you as well. A hometown guy from Santa Clarita came here to games as a kid and thinking, man, how cool would it be to be them? They don't have to go to school tomorrow, and now you're a World Series champion.
I don't have to go to school at all anymore.
That's right.
This is incredible. None. Never again.
Never again.
No homework.
Tyler Glasnow.
You kids, you stay in school.
You stay in school. That's right.
Kids stay in school.
Tyler, thank you so much for coming on with us.